Hello, hello, hello. This is Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m. I'm so happy to be here with you today. And we have great guests in the studio. Guess who else is with us today? You know, Nana's been on leave because she's now become a grandmother and she's been busy dealing with that. But guess what? Nana is in studio today. You'll get a chance to say hello to her. And we also have others present in the Queen Mother Speak studio today. I'd like to give a few shout outs to some of our guests who are tuning in. Hello to High Priestess, a shout out of Atlanta, Georgia. Hello to you, Lady Mo. Hello to Tina tuning in. Ernestine, thank you for tuning in to the Queen Mother Speak show every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m. We are in season 11, and our theme this season is the only goals that you don't make
Hello.
are the ones that you choose to start, the ones that you choose not to start. So we're here to tell you, as part of your New Year's resolution, remember at New Year, we were asking you to make certain resolutions. So right now in this month of May, June, month of June, we want to remind you to remember what you told yourself back in January for your New Year's resolution. And there's a lady by the name of Dr. Johnny Coleman. She has made her journey to heaven, but she wrote a book that's called It Works If You Work It. So Queen Mother is here to remind you that, yeah, your life does work if you work it. All right. So at this time, in addition to telling you about our theme for this season, I want to also share with you little things that are going on. We are in the month of June. As we well know, we celebrate Father's Day in the month of June, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that as the show proceeds. But I also want to tell you that in this month of June, that we also have, guess what? Juneteenth. We're going to talk about that more on next week. All right. But there's also a day called the International Day of the African Child. And that day is on Friday, the 16th of June. Queen Mother has been invited to be one of the key speakers on that day. Okay. She's been invited to be a key speaker. And so we're going to ask you to tune in. We're going to go and see if we can record some of what's happening. There she is. There's Nana.
Hi.
She's saying hello.
Good
Okay,
evening.
our guest in the studio, you need to go out and come back in because I have you on two screens. I only need you on one. So go out and come back in, please. Officer,
Okay.
can you hear me? Yeah, go out and come back in
And
because
come
I
back
have
in.
you
Come
on
back
two screens. Okay.
Okay.
Haha. Haha. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
We're gonna go ahead with
We're
the
gonna go
show, but
ahead with
right
the
now
show,
we're
but
getting an
right now we're
echo,
getting an echo,
and that's because
and
our
that's
officer
because our
has
officer
two
has
different
two different
speakers on.
speakers on.
What are we gonna
What are we
do?
gonna
What are we
do?
gonna
What are we
do?
gonna do?
Let's see if he will take himself out and come back in. That's
I
the only
muted
way I
his
know to resolve
microphone.
that.
Dash, I muted his
Pardon?
microphone. I muted his microphone to get rid of the echo.
But I also had him on the screen too many times.
I see.
Okay, who? Okay, so let me come back into the studio.
Okay. I'll take one of his off.
I couldn't get it off.
Okay. I did. There you go. I had to sign back out and sign back in. So I had administrative privileges. When I used the link you sent me, I couldn't operate
T,
any
we're
of
live
the.
on air. T, we are live on air.
Yes.
Okay,
So I welcome everybody. We
we're
were
live
going
on
through a
air.
few technical details, and
Okay,
now we are
let's see if
back.
we can get him back in.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Greetings to
Oh,
everyone.
great. All right. This is the lineup that we want. Okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the one and see what happens
Okay.
at this time. Interesting. Okay. All right. To go back to a little bit of what's happening in the show today, I'm just going to, Nana, can you tell us
Yes.
who's in studio today?
Oh, absolutely. I'm happy to. So we have our special guest, Officer Daniel Ofori-Appiah of Accra, Ghana. And we are so happy to have him. We'll hear from him shortly. But right now, I invite you to get relaxed and ready for this awesome show. Be sure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, hit your like button. Please share us. Put a comment in there and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If this is your first time tuning in, we thank you so much for being here. We have men, women, and youth having a very unique, innovative projects and transformative works, plus a special edition show like today's show. We have our Father's Day tributes, so just stay right there. And we have a special birthday tribute today. Go to our page, just tell us who you are, where you're from, and guests you want on the show. Please interact with us through the week, not just on the show day. Click on facebook.com, QueenMotherSpeaks, and facebook.com/author Teresa R. Kemp. That's me. Also, Nana Afua Adezuwa the First. I'm the Queen Mother of Mankasim Traditional Area, Central Region of Ghana.
Wow.
So, here we are. We have Miraculous June. Blessings to all of our faithful fans out of Atlanta, Lady Mo, Tina. We have Rose there in the studio with Queen Mom, and we are so thankful for all of the guests that we have today. So back to you.
Thank you, Nana. From the West Coast, USA, we want to say thank you to all of our fans who actually have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to watch the Queen Mother Speak show. That must be people who love Queen Mother. And guess what? Queen Mother also loves them. I want to say hello to Ernestine out of Los Angeles, Mpingo, Councilman Farrell, Red, Adisa, and Kwashi. From Los Angeles, there's Tashmia, Nyla, Hakika, and Samantha from San Francisco. And we have the one and only Joy, who tunes in from Hawaii. Joy and I went to university together, but she's now 13 hours away from us. She has to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning just to watch the Queen Mother Speak show. Thank you, Rose. I'm sorry. Thank you, Joy. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you for that very much. I'd like to know, tell me, who's rocking it in your world? Let us know. Invite them to be on the Queen Mother Speak show. Just send us their name and a contact number and email. Send it to facebook.com/QueenMotherSpeaks. Send it there, and we'll be sure to give them a call and have them to be on the show. Nana? Nana, are you there?
There we go. So I want to remind you to please stay safe. There seems to be a reoccurrence of COVID and the variants. Continue to wash your hands, keep yourself safe, and be alert. We thank all of you all for tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks today. This is a safe place for information, inspiration, and expression. Also, we have Bunga Data Bunga, which is a platform for women's voices here, primarily Kenya, but everywhere. We want to hear from you. Catch them live every Thursday, 7 p.m. East Africa time, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time where I'm at. It's New York time. I was going to say Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in Columbus, Ohio today. Thank you for tuning in. So also.
Yeah, you keep moving cities on us.
I know. Listen, so fast that I didn't even realize where I was. About to say I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm living in Florida. But one of the things that I want to let you all know is there's wildfires in Canada, which is destroying the air quality even here in the United States. So as if COVID wasn't enough, as if mass shootings weren't enough, now we've got bad air quality. So if you have breathing issues of any kind, or if you don't, please make sure that you work to keep the air quality safe. If you get the warnings, stay inside. Find a way to work around it, even with your kids, or do something to filter your air. So back to you in the studio. Oh, she's in Nairobi, Kenya. I don't know if she told you that. And he's in Ghana. So today we're having an international show, which we always do. And we want to make sure that you know If you have questions because you're traveling to parts of Africa, as for business, as a student, if you've expatriated, if you are just a tourist, which we hope that you will be, save your money, go to Africa, find your roots, do your DNA. I'm a researcher, but Queen Mom was asked if she would give tips, ideas, and what's going on in Africa so that you can travel and thrive. Not just go, but we want you to have a great experience. So we bring guests who can tell you what's going on the ground and bring you their insight from their countries around Africa and around the world. So back to you.
Thank you so much. You know, it was at the beginning of the Queen Mother Speak show just around pandemic time when we met some of our friends from the Indian community, and they taught us about breathing. Yeah, they taught us about breathing. So from the Art of Living Institute, we bring you every week on the Queen Mother Speak show an opportunity to breathe. Because one of the things I've learned about breathing is it really can de-stress you very quickly. So what we're going to do today is we're going to breathe 3 times. You're going to breathe in 3 times. Breathe in through your nose to the count of 6. Hold it to the count of 6 and release it to the count of 10. Okay? So we're going to do our breathing exercise and we're going to do it at this moment. Are you ready?
Ready.
Go with me. Breathe in through your nose. Hold. Release. Okay, we're going to try it again. Breathe in through the nose to the count of 6. Go. Hold. Release. Okay, we're going to do one more. Breathe in slowly to the count of 6. Hold. Release. All right, so one of the things we've learned about breathing, again, is that it helps to reduce your pressure. And there's just so many other things that you can get out of breathing. Okay, it reduces your stress, it increases your oxygen intake, reduces your blood pressure, slows the heart, and it can release tension from the abdomen. So thank you for choosing to do the breathing exercise with us today. So in this moment, we're going to go to our meditation reading. I'm going to say the topic, and I want you to listen and repeat it 3 times from your heart. And the topic for today is, I am unconditionally grateful. I'm unconditionally grateful. I am unconditionally grateful. Gratitude is an attitude adjuster. Gratitude is a spiritual practice we choose in order to have an attitudinal shift. Unconditional gratitude is a new way of being grateful just because. It just frees us from the attachment to people, the attachment to places, the attachment to things. Unconditional gratitude comes from an understanding that there are invisible occurrences that are keeping us alive and functioning. I'm grateful for the awareness to be grateful, regardless of what is happening or what is not happening.
Yes.
I'm grateful simply because I choose to be grateful. I live with an attitude of gratitude. In this moment, God is directing my path. I choose to be grateful. Thank you, faith, in me, through me, as me, around me, through the Christ within, and so it is.
Yes.
This is the day that the Lord has wrought. Let us rejoice. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. That is our meditation from today. It comes from Daily Thoughts from the Hill, created by Hillside International Truth Center, Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Okay. Being that we're in the month of June, it's also called Juno. It's the ancient Roman goddess of marriage and childbirth. And in the month of June, it's popular around the world for weddings. In fact, we've been to a few weddings in this month. So, as a natural extension of marriage, Juno, which was also the goddess of childbirth, originated and came into the name June or Junvenus, which is the Latin name, which means young people. There's a lot of people born in this month. Nana, tell us,
Yes.
who's born in the month of June?
Well, I'm happy to say that June is a month for my family. So my daughter Wendy Hall, my daughter Tanisha Thomas is born in June. Also, I celebrated my former father-in-law's 100th birthday. But June 14th, 1811, we have Harriet Beecher Stowe, author and abolitionist. We had Burl Ives, who was a singer and actor. We actually have Donald Trump, 45th president of the United States. Boy George, Steffi Graf, tennis champion. Mario Cuomo, New York governor. Waylon Jennings, Ice Cube, the rapper. Geronimo, Native American Apache leader. Dean Martin, actor, singer. Newt Gingrich, Speaker of the House. Barry Manilow. And if today's your birthday, we would like for you to please put it in the comments so that we can acknowledge you. We have Felicia Rashad, Venus Williams, Paul McCarthy, Mo Howard, Boris Johnson, Errol Flynn. So back to you, Queen Mom.
All right, very
You're going to
good.
sing happy
So
birthday?
that's just an example of some of
we
the
can't forget Rakaya. We cannot forget our co-host.
I know Rakaya hasn't come to the well, Rakaya, as everyone knows, is one of the hosts on the show. Her birthday was on the 12th. She is in Panama living it up. And we've asked her to come into the studio so we can give her a special treat, but she hasn't come in yet. Let's see if she's going to find time to be with us today. I don't know.
But if not, we're going to show you mad love. And
yes,
we want to celebrate.
All right, so more fan mentions. Yes. More fan mentions, people tuning into the Queen Mother Speak show. We have Sarah and the girls tuning in from Dubai. Thank you. Dr. Willie Butler out of Louisiana. Professor Al Gaskins, Ohio. Brother Chess and Lila, who tunes in from New York City. Hey, hey, hey. Queen Mother's inviting you. Hit that like, share button and comment button. And we want to also just take a moment and appreciate our guest in the studio from last week, which was Mr. Canon Angweyo of Uganda, and our celebrity transitions, people who passed away in the month of June, being Harry Belafonte, Tina Turner, Jim Brown. We gave them a special salute on Queen Mother Speaks last week. And of the three, I've been in the room with Harry Belafonte. Wow. I've been in the room with the one and only Tina Turner. And Jim Brown was indeed a friend. So last week we talked about Jim. But right now we're going to turn it over to Nana. Nana, tell us some things about fathers and dads.
Well, Father's Day celebrates and honors the men who have embraced the essential role of fatherhood. On this day, we also thank fathers and father figures, uncles, grandfathers, your mentors, for the sacrifices they made, and stepfathers and single parent homes that are fathered, that only have a father who's being a father and a mother. We thank you for the sacrifices you make, for embracing the responsibilities and nurturing and raising children, and for their devotions to their family. On June 28th, stay tuned. I will bring a tribute to my father, the late Colonel Howard Wilson. He's a doctor also. Like Mother's Day, the modern American version of Father's Day has a history that goes well beyond greeting cards. The first known Father's Day service occurred in Fairmont, West Virginia. Oh, coincidence. My dad's also from West Virginia. On July 5th in 1908, over 100 men died in the worst mining accident in U.S. history. The Sunday service happened because of the efforts of Grace Golden Clayton. She was the daughter of a dedicated reverend. While missing her own dad, who had died in 1896, Mrs. Clayton wanted to honor the many fathers who had died in the mining explosion, which killed more than 360 men and boys because they started working very young. And it left over 1,000 children in their community fatherless. So although the Fairmont service was the first known to honor fathers, it did not turn into an annual event, nor was the idea promoted a large, like 4th of July celebration in Fairmont, and a tragic young death of typhoid fever took over the news at the time. So from local celebrations to a national holiday, in spite of widespread support, Father's Day did not become a permanent national holiday for many years. The first bill was introduced in Congress, in the American Congress, let me add that, in the United States in 1913. But in spite of encouragement from President Woodrow Wilson, the president at the time, it did not pass until 1966. Our President Lyndon Johnson issued a proclamation designating the third Sunday as June to honor fathers. Finally, in 1972, President Richard Nixon signed a law declaring that Father's Day be celebrated annually on the third Sunday in June, and it has been an official permanent national holiday ever since. We shouldn't need legislation to honor the men in our lives.
That's right.
We take them for granted.
Huh?
We need to honor the men, the fathers in our lives every day, and I encourage you to do so. So back to you.
Thank you, Nana.
Mm.
And today, when we talk about encouraging men in our lives, we have in the studio with us today Officer Daniel Ofori-Appiah. And I'm just going to take a minute and talk about him. And we really want you to get into this with us. This young man has really stirred my soul with the kind of work that he's doing in the world. But let me tell you a little bit about him, who he is, right? Popularly known as Officer Kwesi. He's known as Kwesi. That's interesting. Africans have a lot of different names, but when Americans take on different names, they wonder why we do that. But he is Daniel Ofori-Appiah, but he's known as Officer Kwesi. Okay, he is a serving police inspector with the Legal and Prosecution Unit of the Ghana Police Service. He holds a bachelor's degree in education from the University of Education in Winneba, Ghana. He's also the founder and leader of an organization called Watch Your Tongue Concept. And he's now made this into a registered NGO. He works with others in Ghana and he works with volunteers, in addition to being a police officer, a man of peace. He is also an experienced musician, a motivational speaker, a peace campaigner, and more importantly, he's a philanthropist. He's won local and international awards from the Musicians Union of Ghana and the Victory Excellence Awards out of the UK. Now, our young man has a passion for youth. Isn't it something? And he also has a passion for having a safe environment. So he's organized numerous types of life-changing projects in Ghana. And through his work with himself and the volunteers, they're looking to build a global organization. And they call it Watch Your Tongue. Think right, speak right, act right, and write right. Oh, you got to hear what he's got to tell you about that. All right. In addition to being a servant leader, he motivates the motivator. I know that in the academic field, we have what we call trainers of trainers. And this officer, ladies and gentlemen, he is a person who motivates motivators to motivate. What do you say about that? He loves children, and he's currently, like I say, with the Watch Your Tongue campaign and the child protection education. Let me just stop right there before we go into talking about the product itself that he's created. Let us have him tell us about himself. Thank you for being on the Queen Mother Speak show. And it's my honor to get to meet you and to be talking with you over this past week. So now, officer, how did you come up with the idea for Watch Your Tongue?
Greetings to all the people across the world listening to us and watching us online. My queens in the studio, I love you so much. You're doing massive work across the globe. And I love your passion for humanity. Back to your question. I hail from Eastern region, a town called Achimbase. and
Mhm.
I was a teacher before joining the police service. So,
Okay.
and also a musician. So, somewhere in 2016, I decided to compose a song called Biakwe, meaning oneness. Whilst I
Mhm.
was recording that song in the studio engineer, the music producer told me that the words and the composition is like a peace song that will help build a peaceful atmosphere within the country Ghana and across the globe. And that year
Mhm.
happens to be an election year for Ghana, where we're going to do a
Mhm.
voting for the parliamentary members and all the leaders in Ghana, including the president.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
decided to use that music for the program or for the peace campaign. But I decided to form people to join me to do that. So I called them volunteers. And I gathered my volunteers and I said, this is what we want to do. We want to tour Ghana. At that time, Ghana was 10 regions. We want to tour Ghana, now 16 regions. We want to tour Ghana and preach peace with this song. And they asked
Mhm.
me, is that possible? I said, yes, we can. Once we have passion of doing it, do it. So, going out, I asked them, so what should be the message? They became confused and they didn't know what to say. So I stood there for some time and I told them, let us go and tell the people to watch their tongue. You know, because
Oh my goodness. Go
and
ahead. I'm sorry.
they asked me, what do you mean by watch your tongue? I say yes. Watch your tongue because there will be a lot of information that politicians will give to the people. There will be a lot of communication during election year, and we want to
Mhm.
advise people, caution people proactively. I mean, educate people so that they'll be aware of the environment in which find ourselves, so that they will avoid the use of hate speech, abusive words, demeaning statement, and words that can cause fear and panic, words that can ignite fight and war within the country. So we bought the idea,
Mhm.
and from that, I conceptualized the Watch Your Tongue into four thematic areas. And we said, let us go and
Mhm.
tell them to think right, speak right, act right, and write right. The reason be that all ideas comes from the mind. So when we educate the mindset of the people, they will be able to use the ideas they've conceived in their minds to say positive things. Number two, speak act right. Number two is speak right because you have to think before you speak. Number three, which is act right, I was telling them that action speaks. Somebody will not speak by way of utterances, but his actions will go a long way to communicate to you. So let us also advise people to be cautious of the action they put up, because every action have its opposite reaction. So if you put up
Okay.
a good action, there will be good energy. If you put up a bad action, wow, there will be something uh, chaos. And the last one I put
Mhm.
out there was right. Right is not about going on your right hand and passing another right. But this one is writings. As you take your pen, the power of the ink, as you write on social media, as you write on billboards, let us write things that will inform the people about positive things, so that we can create an enabling environment for people to live peacefully and lawfully. So that is what I give, and that what your tongue has come to stay. And you know what? The tongue is a very powerful, a part of the body. You know, the tongue is used to taste of food.
Mhm.
If without a tongue, you don't hear whether the food is tasty or not. Apart from that, you see the tongue is used to lick your things. You know, people have things, sweets that they can lick. And the tongue helps you to swallow your food in your mouth. So
Whee!
you know, a
Oh,
lot of
this is
people
so
are
much
licking
fun.
so many things. Ice cream, people are licking ice cream here and there with the tongue, You have to know that. And other things that people lick. So, and talking about the tongue too, we can say that the tongue is a language. The tongue is a language. So, what your tongue means, let your language be perfect. Let your language bring peace to the people. And you see, when somebody say you have the ninth tongue, it means the way you speak is very, very great. I can say that my precious things that I have here now have a nice tongue, meaning they have sweet voice. They have a voice of peace, a voice that educates, a voice that brings people together. So that is all about watch your tongue. And I say, "Kasaye na nya hoto," which means if you speak well, you'll be able to have peace. Do you know that somebody has been jailed for 10 years because he didn't speak well? I have to
Well,
tell you. Yes. In criminal cases in Ghana, Section 75 of the Criminal Code, if you threaten to kill somebody, you can be jailed for so many years. So watch your tongue in a way is helping people not to even go to prison. Numerous marriages are collapsing because of how we speak to our partners in marriage. And that
mm,
brings the breakage of marriage is bringing people to the street here and there. People are becoming criminals. Children are becoming criminal because of divorce. So we are using watch your tongue messages to even bring peace between husband and wife, families, so that we can live peaceful. So it's a very great organization. It's a very great concept that proactively cautions people to be aware of the tongue.
So,
The tongue.
Officer Ofori, so what you just said is key for people who come from other countries to visit Ghana. They just can't get there and curse people out and use a whole bunch of profanity against people who do things they don't like and think it has no consequences. Is that what you're telling us?
Exactly, because every word that comes off your mouth is very powerful. It's like a bullet. Once you release it, you cannot hold it back.
Yes,
Your words can cause somebody to commit suicide.
that's
Your
true.
words can bring
mm,
division among the people. Your words can cause yourself, because somebody, because of your words, some people can shun you. They will not come close to you because of the way you talk. You will
Mm-hmm.
not get help when you speak so bad, when you insult people, when you demean people. People will try to run away from you. So if you visit Ghana
mhm,
and you are able to communicate well, you are able to communicate, you get help. If you're not able to communicate well and your words are so demeaning, you demean people, you don't respect people, you will not get help. So people come in Ghana and they suffer because they are not able to communicate fruitfully to get help from people. So we gotta watch our tongue. We gotta watch our tongue at all times. Even in your anger, you have to watch your tongue.
Yes,
Because in the Bible, it
wow,
is said in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, that the power of life and death is in the tongue.
power of the
The
tongue.
power of life
Yes,
and death is in the tongue.
yes,
So all lives and all deaths are in the tongue. Which one do you
mm,
choose? Do you choose life or do you choose death? I believe we want to choose life. I, as
absolutely.
an
yeah,
officer, doesn't want anybody to go to prison. So I go to the communities, I go to schools, I go to the churches, I go to the mosques, I go to people's home through social media to
Mm-hmm.
warn them, to caution them so that they don't fall into trouble. Watch your tongue.
Well, we definitely
oh,
appreciate you today because, when the young people watch TV, they just say anything. They just do anything. They
mhm,
don't think. Before you know it, they're just saying whatever. When we were young,
mhm,
you respected your elders. You had a certain way to conduct business, but now it's not that way. And people just say anything, and most people don't communicate effectively. And I always recommend that they learn basic foreign language skills before they visit a country, not just go thinking everybody's going to speak English to me, even though, as we know,
mhm,
many people in Ghana speak English and are very well
Yeah.
educated. But it helps if you make an effort to get to know the culture, the language, the holidays, the beliefs of the people where
mhm,
you're going to visit. That's so key that you don't think, oh, I'm American and I don't have to do anything. They're going to cater to me. That will not get you as far as if you try. People will help you if you try. They will see that you've made an
Right.
effort. So it's very, very important what you're telling us today, because no one in the world suspected, particularly Americans when they travel and people from other countries, that you could go to jail for what comes out of your mouth and disrespecting people in authority in particular, because they're just so shocked because Americans just fly off the trap. They're used to just saying
all the
anything.
time, all the time. I want to ask the officer a question.
Oh,
So
Nana,
tell me.
let me salute Nana. Let me salute Nana. Nana, you got a volunteer already.
We
But we
love
also
Ghana.
say that Ghana is one of the few African countries that has opened up its doors to African Americans, and it said, if you want to come home, come home.
Yes.
Yes,
We have a place
Yes.
for you. And we all
yes,
aware of the year of return. And we all have
yes,
seen the statistics on how many African Americans are now going to live in Ghana.
Yes.
Officer, if this question is off the chain, you don't have to answer. But my question is, with the influx of all of these African American and other Americans coming into Ghana, how are they with their tongue? You see, in America, people are very loose with their tongue. Are they coming there and being just as loose? And if they are, what are you guys doing about it? Or are you letting them know they can't do that? Or how are you handling that? Tell me. Tell us.
yes. It's so amazing that when you arrive at the airport, the people receive you with gladness, with a lot of respect.
True.
And mind you, when that happens, a lot of them take cue from that. Where I'm going, I've been respected. I've been well spoken to. I've been given enough assistance. So when they come into the system and we meet them, and sometimes they get angry, then use such words, we caution them that, do you want to be disrespected? Do you want to be disrespected? The
Yes.
answer that comes from them, they say no.
Right.
For this reason, don't also disrespect somebody, because what you don't want people to do against you, you don't have to do same against them.
Right.
So, and they try. Most of them are also trying to understand the culture. And Ghana, we have culture of respect, especially for the elders. So most of them come one already as human. We may fault, we may find things difficult to change the normal things that we do, but I can appreciate that most of the Americans who comes to Ghana are able to adopt into the culture of respect, and they are managing. So we are managing them, we are okay with them. Now, beyond the year of return, people are still coming in. Officer have received so many people, took them into places, and they are enjoying. There is one Makori, who came and reported at ABC News in America that in America he's never been able to talk to a police officer or come closer to a police officer before. But in Ghana, because of Officer Kwesi Ofori and the Watch of Tank, he was able to hug a police officer, dine with a police officer, and we had time at the Abri Gardens. I hope you know Abri Gardens.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I
Nana,
took
I think you do as well.
Yes, I took Richard Mamakori to Abri Gardens and we had a nice time. And I was in my uniform and he can't believe it. A police officer having time for him, and he couldn't wait than to send a message to ABC News in America. So we are doing our
Wow.
best, and those who are coming here, they are adopting and adapting to the system, and they are trying to change their ways of loose talks to positive tongues, and I think they will love it. You know, education comes in so many forms, and you cannot change somebody a day for what he has been doing for so many years. But gradually, we changing the youth. Gradually, we nurturing the young children to use positive words at all times so that they can live a productive life. You know, we have to learn that even the words that comes of our mouth can even curse our own children. If you curse your own child, it means you are destroying your future and the future of the world. So we have to be mindful what we say about our children. In the course of training our children, we should use positive words so that they will have positive mindset. And because they have positive mindset, their utterances, their actions, and their writings on social media will be appreciable and can help build a better world for all of us. So, what your time we are doing well, and we don't doing only education, we are also giving gifts or we are donating to the less privileged within our community. We identify people who need help, and we are able to gather the things that they need, and we are able to do it together with my partner, who is the CEO of Jesus Act Foundation, Madam Aisha in Ghana. We've been able
Mhm.
to construct even a clinic for a community in Bono. We've been
Uh-huh.
able to honor fathers. We'll be able to give wheelchairs to some people who need it, and so many
Mhm.
things that I cannot mention. Because you cannot educate somebody when the person is in serious trouble. So we try
Mhm.
to meet the people, help them, and after helping them, we educate them to change. You cannot change the minds of the people when the people are hungry, when they live in poverty, when they need certain assistance. So we try to meet them at the point of their need, assist them in various forms, and through that we can educate them. So through we are able to touch a lot of lives, not only in the church but in the mosque, in the community. I always say that anywhere the tongue
Mhm.
is, watch your tongue goes.
Well, I
That is
love it.
so
I
important.
just
Me too.
love it. Oh, we're having so much fun with the conversation around the tongue. Isn't there a book also, officer, about?
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
All
So, did
right.
you write the book?
I wrote the book myself.
Good.
Wow.
And tell us the name of your book.
The book is Watch Your Tongue Educational Handout.
That's good. You know, here in America, we have bullying in our schools. And
Yes. Oh,
as you said, some people have committed suicide. Now, most people are so happy to get back into school because they didn't like being in isolation during COVID, the pandemic, when they were shut down, and they realized they weren't used to it. Parents didn't realize they weren't used to having all their children at home, that now they
Mhm.
had to cook and prepare meals during the day. Families weren't used to being together all the time, every day, and many were abused. We ran into many abusive situations
Mhm.
worldwide because people were not used to being with their own selves, with their families, with their mates. And they didn't realize they had to live with themselves. And as you were saying, you have to even talk positive things to yourself and stir up the gift that's within you. So I wanted to say, Lillian, one of our viewers today, said to tell you, very impressive. And then we have another viewer who said, wait just a moment, let me get back to it. She says she's watching from Samburu.
wow. That's
Ah,
amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
So
wow.
that's Christine, and we want to thank her for tuning in and watching today. And we want to thank all of our viewers because we realize we have a few shy ones of you who don't let us know that you're watching, but we
I
do
know.
appreciate you being here. Be
Yes.
brave. Come
And
on,
and
just type in.
to speak to that issue,
Mm-hmm.
the other day I was in the supermarket
Right.
shopping, and all of a sudden I saw some child making movement, running, running, running. That was a child running to me. It was
Mm-hmm.
one of my Sunday school kids. They
Okay.
saw me in the supermarket and they just ran to say hello.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that certainly warmed my heart. And then
Absolutely.
the father said, we saw your show last week. I said, you did? I said, but you didn't give us a share, a comment, or a like. How do I know that you were there? He
Right.
said, okay, mother, I was there. So there are a lot of people who tune in and they be shy. So
Yes.
thank you for being shy, but we would really like to know who's out there, who's
Right.
actually tuning in. Do we have any mentions for today, Nana?
We do. We have quite a few.
Okay.
So I would like to say for the Democrats abroad reparations task force, we want to give you the link. I'm going to post it shortly. We have the Soul Vegetarian restaurants. They're good to you and good for you. To order, we have, if you're in Nairobi, Kenya, 0742-654-810. And I'm going to put that phone number up. They have cooking classes. So those of you, if you realize that you don't know how to cook, if you're planning on getting married.
Vegetarian foods.
Yes.
And by the way, once a month, Queen Mother takes a group of people to the Soul Vegetarian Restaurant, where on a Saturday morning early before they open, they will do a cooking class for us, teaching us how to cook healthy and how to eat healthy. So join me. I'll let you know the next day we're going to be at the restaurant getting a cooking class for vegetarian cooking. Back to you, Nana.
I want to say this. We don't realize how important food is to our memories, to depression. If you're missing your family or a loved one because they have passed on and they were the glue for your family. If you're used to getting together to cook and share a meal with someone, and now you're by yourself or you don't know how to cook it, or if you're a parent and you want to find a way to get closer to your children, prepare a meal. Let them help you. You can learn fractions. You can teach them addition and multiplication. There's so much that transfers in the kitchen and with cooking of food. So let me go on and say Lucille's Kitchen, if you love sweet potato pie and other mouth-watering treats. I'm going to put her phone number up there. We have Miss Asia Defala, Kenya's blood ambassador, reminds you, please visit the blood bank, or in Kenya, they call it the depository bank near you, and donate blood. There's a shortage worldwide of blood, and Kenya and the entire world needs it. Medical care is not the same as in America, where we have blood banks. So many times, like when I was in Ghana, I didn't realize that when you go to the hospital, your family members are expected to come and bring you food. When they told me that, I was like, my family is not here. My host was there, and they were gracious enough to do that for me. But I realized everybody was not afforded the same amenities that I was. So it's important that you consider donating to hospitals, but give that blood. Because if you want to wait, if you're feeling depressed today and you say, you know what, I haven't accomplished the things in life I want to. You can become a donor of so many things that you won't even miss, that will give life to someone you will never meet. You won't know that you've helped somebody until you find out later. We'd also like to mention the enlightenment of Blissipin. That's practices that strengthen your ability to weather the changes in your life. We're going to give you a free link. Let me start getting these links up as I'm talking. As many of you know, I had not been on the show in a while, and Mother knows that I had a time trying to get all of my social media and get back into my accounts and everything. Okay, so let's see if I got it up there.
And she even experienced some hackers.
Oh my gosh, I got hacked today twice. Twice, yes. And so we have some.
They must love you, Nana. They must love you, because nobody comes to hack Queen Mother.
Listen.
So far.
So I'm putting up, this is the Blissipin one. When we had the Kenyan police officers' wives, many people don't understand the stress that our police officers' wives and loved ones go through every day, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing if they're going to come home. So Queen Mother and some of the friends of our shows, we had on the host of Blissipin, and she offered a free week so that you could learn how to deal with stress and anxiety and what to do as you feel these things come over you. Just like we did the breathing. When we first started the breathing, I've had congestive heart failure, and I wasn't even, it took me 2 seconds to breathe in the maximum amount I could. Now I can breathe in, hold my breath, and breathe out, and control my blood pressure without medication. Now, I'm not saying come off your medication, but take your blood pressure before, do the breathing exercises on your own, go to Blissipin, the link we just gave you, and learn how to calm yourself down so that you can get off all the medications. In Ghana and many places throughout the world, they have natural medicines. Officer, when I came back with moringa,
Wow.
I was dying when I went. I'm like, if I die, I'm gonna die on African soil. My family, I came back healthy, skinny. I was walking the streets of the town every morning because, the time difference. Queen Mom is laughing because she knows how wonderful I felt when I got there. Fresh
Great.
air, ocean breeze down at Salt Pond, not far from Mankasim. Sunshine, I had more vitamin D. So there's so many benefits and things you can do for yourself. Also, woven into the fabric book purchase via Amazon by Queen
By
Mama.
Sahai.
Yes,
Sahai Farrell.
Yep. Thank you, Farrell. Again, that's the fabric book woven into the fabric. That's a book we're encouraging you to purchase by Sahai Farrell, Farrell. And then join the awareness and fight against human trafficking in your area. I have fought human trafficking and actually have a human trafficking page on my website, plantationquilts.com. Just like it sounds, plantation quilts, QUILTS.com. But this one is also with Heart, HAART. I'm going to give you their email and their phone number. And what country are they in, Queen Mom?
All right.
What country
All
are
right.
they in?
Heart is a local company here in Kenya. And what they do is they work very heavily in human trafficking. And I have been a volunteer with them off and on. We've had some human trafficking young individuals on the show. And come the month of July, we're bringing some of them back to talk about what's happened since last year when we had them here on the Queen Mother Speaks show. Also in the studio, if I may, I know we're inside of our mentions, but I want to just take a moment and say hello to Lillian. Lillian is one of our administrators, the coordinators in social media, and she is out of Uganda. Hello, Lillian.
How are you?
We are wonderful. How are you, my dear?
Hello, Dr. Moon.
Hello, my
Hello,
love.
Teresa.
Hello. It's so good to
And
see
hello,
you.
Questa. Captain, hello.
Yes, hello.
All
How are
right.
you?
And you'll be hearing more from Lillian because she's doing some things with Queen Mother Speaks out of Uganda. And
All right.
I'm going to hook her up with the Watch Your Tongue book so that's something we can have in another country over here in the east part of Africa. Back to you,
Yeah.
Nana.
Okay. We also have BP Suma, which are supplements that are available. We're going to post this phone number for you to call. One of the things that I have found is because of the health issues that I've had, I'm going to put that up now. I take a lot of vitamins and supplements. And what they've done is many times you think something's wrong with you and there's nothing that you can do about it. That's not true. You can take vitamins and supplement. As we grow older, our bodies, we don't get everything we need from food, and we often don't eat right. And now they've added genetically modified things and they call it GMO, but you need to read your food, eat fresh whole food. And that's what I did when I went to Ghana. That's what Queen Mom does when she's in Kenya, because you'd never guess. I hate to say both of our ages, but it's true, Officer Ofori. We are doing well. We are trying to get our viewers not just to survive, but to thrive. We want them to have beautiful skin, wonderful continence, joy every day. And we're two friends, and we've been friends now for decades. And we want people to tune in to join us so that they have conversation, dialogue, that they feel like they're part of a family. So now they've told me, mention my books. So I have several books. The one that I'm going to be highlighting this coming weekend, and we'll post it on both Queen Mom's page and my pages, is I'm going to be talking about the transatlantic slave trade. It didn't just go between West Africa and the United States, but it went to South America. It went from East Africa. And people don't think about slavery in East Africa or people being marched through Tanzania to the coast. Ethiopia and Switzerland were the only two countries not colonized in the whole world. Every place else has experienced slavery. And so
take a moment and breathe, Nana, and say that again.
okay.
That's very important. Make that point again.
Every country, every group of people around the world have experienced colonialism and slavery. They have been slave owners. They have been enslaved. People of all nationality have sold slaves. They have been on the slave ships, whether they were in the capacity of the captain or the crew, whether they were free or enslaved. And so this weekend, I'm doing a workshop, a mental health workshop, to help people overcome feeling less than because they feel that they are the children of slaves. But some of them don't know that they're the descendants of slave owners. Officer Ofori, I had a museum, and a young girl came to visit the museum. And I said, "Oh, where are you from?" She said, "Well, originally I'm from Ghana, but my family's been in London for a long time." She said, "We've been there for centuries." So when she said that, I'm like, aha, yes, because many of the people who sold slaves, their families were then taken to London.
Exactly.
Yes. And so I took her over to a terminal and I typed some stuff in real quick. And of course, her name came up. Their family name came up as having sold slaves, which she didn't know. So it's not any particular color, but we're going to be going through this and listing lots of resources. So check back on our social media pages, because I'm going to tell you, this is a free workshop and they have so many components to it. But if you're experiencing stress because you've been told or think you're descendants of slaves, you're descendants of kings, queens, educators, royalty, artists, you're fishermen, farmer had skills, farmer, agriculture. Every aspect of the community is like this, fitly joined together. And we rely on one another. And that's why we want you to tune in to Queen Mother Speaks, because we want to be your friends, your family, your sisters, your mothers, whoever you've lost in your life. Come on, because Officer Kwesi, he's telling you about how he mentors people. A lot of people right now are trying to figure out how to improve police relationships. Well, here's your answer. So please share with police officers in your lives. Share it with even the police officers and your police department that you don't know. They can take the words that he has spoken to us today that are so powerful. He's in the community. He goes to the schools. He's approachable. He goes. He's a father. He goes in his uniform so that people are unafraid.
We go to school.
Say that again, sir.
We've been going to schools to educate them because we know when we train them from the younger stage, they will build up a good character and they will try to love one another. You know, there is one thing I always talk about those who are sold, and we don't want to talk about, remind ourselves of how people were colonized, but we have identified ourselves as Maroons, as people who are black people everywhere. Now we want to build a network to unite so that we can get all our brothers and sisters who are living in other countries but are Africans. So we are even doing a program with the ambassador of Suriname, uh, who is a North American country, and we are doing a lot of great works to form the Maroon Network Association, which we have started, so that we can educate people to be aware that wherever you find yourself, don't feel bad about the past, but know that you are an African. We can network and we can do things together to help ourselves as Africans, and we can help the world as well. So I go to school and I educate the children, I educate teachers and everybody to be aware of themselves, to appreciate the environment, to appreciate Africa, and to appreciate those who are Africans but they are in diaspora, so that we can come together and make a strong force as Africans.
Yes, yes.
Very
We have to
good.
support people. And I want to say this about Queen Mom. People ask me, I became a queen mother in Ghana. And what happens is you don't have to go to Ghana to help people. You can help Ghanaian people, Kenyan people, people from all over Africa when they come to visit your country. That way you can exchange cultures. You can learn a lot about yourself and a lot about where your ancestors may be from. Ofori, I'm one of the few African-American people who have my African ancestry back to 948 BC.
That's right.
Yes.
I thank you for that.
So when I came to Ghana, they were very surprised. And I attended a conference and they go, I have even heard that some American people have the audacity to write about Africa who have never been there. I raised my hand. I said, yes, I am one. I said, my ancestors, 5 generations have passed the history down to me. And because I wasn't driving and didn't have a car, I had a driver. And I asked my driver, I leaned over, I said, go get my book out the car. I said,
It is a lot of breakdown.
And drop it on the table. So my book is very thick. It's about 2 inches thick. And they dropped it on the table. So of course it seemed very impressive, which it was, because it has more than 3,000 photographs in the book, Keeper of the Fire, an Igbo metalsmith from Ghana. And it is amazing because people don't think that we have the history, but Ghana, let me say this while we have you here, has archives in Cape Coast.
Exactly.
Yes. And so, you know, we think there's only like 2 slave ports when there were lots. People think, oh, the people were illiterate, unskilled, pagan, and poor. Not true. And so I tell people when I speak, it's as if all of us were captured today. We are educated, we can read, we can write, and some of us speak multiple languages. And it's important that people know that it's not just what they think or what they've read. You have to explore more and dig into the culture, taste the food, talk to people as you're doing. But as you've heard today, it's a culture of respect. So make sure that we respect one another's culture and that we get to know the cultures that we are part of. Because now we're a universe just all connected as we're talking today. So, Queen Mom, you want to tell them more about Bunga Dada Bunga tomorrow, 7 p.m.?
Well, I just want to say that Bunga Dada Bunga is a show that started last May during Kenya's election. We found a lot of women politicians who did not have a platform. And that platform got started through a thing called Bunga Dada Bunga, which means speak, sister, speak. And so on Thursday at 7 p.m., you can tune in to Bunga Dada Bunga. Just go to facebook.com/Bunga Dada Bunga at 7 p.m. Kenya time. Find the time in your zone. Okay, that's 12 noon New York time.
Yes.
All right, we have now.
Wait just a moment. You got one more. We got the International Day of the African Child, Friday, June 15th at the Kenya National Museum. We don't want to leave without letting you all know about that. It's not just for Kenyan people.
Oh, and by the way, let me say the date is actually the 16th, which is tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
I typed on a 5. I found out later it should have been a 6.
It's sorry.
The 16th of June, and at 11 a.m.
Okay.
At the Kenya National Museum, we will be celebrating the International Day of the African Child. And believe it or not, they've asked me to be one of the key speakers. So I've been busy working on a presentation for tomorrow. We're looking forward to that.
Okay.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to the Queen Mother Speak Show every Wednesday, every week, live at 5 p.m. Kenya time. That would be 4 p.m. Dubai time. That would be 3 p.m. Ghana time. 2 p.m. Ghana time, 12 noon New York time, and 10 a.m. Atlanta time. All right. Okay, looks like Lillian's. Oh, there we are. Finally, we got her in beautifully at the end of the show. So whatever you did just now, Lillian, that's what you need to do to be in the show.
Yes.
Before it was just complete darkness.
Yes.
And we couldn't do anything about it because the show had already begun.
Right.
So we're going to end the show the way we always do, and we end it with a kiss. So we're going to ask you to take your left hand, blow a kiss, your right hand, blow a kiss, and then we'll do both hands. And we're going to do this all together. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready, officer? Great.
Let's go.
Ready, Lillian?
Left hand first. Lillian, I don't see your hand. Here we go. All together. Mwah. Okay, then the right hand. Okay, now we're going to cup both hands. And as we're sending this love into the world, we really are sending love into the world. And love is the most healing
Are
force.
we together?
So
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
we're getting ready to do the last one. So no
Yes.
matter what it is you're dealing with and going through, love is the healing force. Yes, receive love into your life, into whatever area of your life that needs to be healed. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Again, Officer Quasi, we thank you for being on the Queen Mother Speak show. We will
Thank
have you
you.
back again and again. We want to
Thank
get the
you.
book over into Kenya and other places in the world.
Yes.
Lillian, it's always a blessing to see you. Nana, woo, glad to have you back in studio. I did get
Good
a
to be
message
back.
from Maya. She is in Panama. She said right now they're down by the canal and her reception is very poor because she's out
Okay.
near the pier in the water. So that's okay, but we'll give her a birthday treat on next week. Thank you
Definitely.
again for tuning in. This is Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday, every week, live at 5. Thank you for tuning in.
Right.
We'll see you next